Hello, and welcome to the Joel Wolfe podcast. There are some big topics facing us today, whether it's parenting, relationships, or questions about where we came from and who God is. Why don't we tackle them together? We're so glad you're with us. Let's get started.
So make sure that your child knows how to serve. Okay, I might be crazy, but it's how I rolled. And it was all fun. Was it fun? Okay, so not so fun. Whatever. Also, not just at home, but I want to really, really encourage you to teach your children to serve outside of the home. Take them to church. Church is a great place to serve. Teach them, have them work in the kids, to have them work back in the food line, have them begin to serve outside of the household, okay? Teach them, take them to a nursing home. You're driving by one and everybody says they're bored and okay, they're all crying they're bored, throw them in the car, drive them to a nursing home and just walk around and push somebody in a wheelchair. Get them outside of their world. Have them serve. Number 4, and we got to finish this up, teach kids to earn stuff. Don't give them the extras. Instead, give them the pathway to earn it. Your job is to not give them the iPhone. Your job is to get creative enough to figure out how they can earn their iPhone. Okay? This way, they will feel the delayed gratification, and they will feel the angst. The best thing, the part of parenting I love, one of them, is when you watch your child, and they've worked really hard, and they've got money in their hand, and then it goes time to spend it, and they're like, do I really want to? Maybe I don't. And they start having that angst of working hard for $1 that wasn't just given to them. And now to spend it, is it really worth it? Or should I save it? I love that pain. How many of you love that pain? Yes. Teach them to earn. Make sure your child knows that his lack is his problem, not yours. Make sure he knows or she knows that their lack of something, I want a Barbie, I want this, I want that, is not your problem. It's theirs. How are you're right. Wouldn't that be so fun to have that? So what is your strategy? What is your plan? How can we do that? And at first, you're going to have to help them. I think the hardest thing as watching my kids grow up, and I'll tell you our pathway to all this because it's so fun, and I'm sure all of you have heard it already and you don't want to hear it again, but, of giving our children businesses that, they started producing and then they started getting, and we would talk to other families and I would talk to other kids and, I don't have my driver's license yet. They're 17 or 18. Why? Well, because we don't have money for this or that. Well, go earn it. Go, you could do it. And I'm just full of all these ideas. And they're like, I can't, It took mom and dad to help our kids and to develop pathways. But as soon as they had a pathway in front of them, they took off and run. It's so sad to me sometimes to watch children who are in poverty, who feel like they don't have a way out. Because their parents have told them, no, we don't have money, we don't have money, we don't have money. Instead of saying, we don't have money, but here's some ways that maybe we can change this. That's where all of a sudden they change. There's a change in them. So your job is not to pay for everything. Your job is to help them find pathways to earn it. Number 6, life is not fair. Get over it. And never try to make it fair. Well, Susie has this, so I have to do it for... No, you don't. No, you don't. Is life fair to you? Does everybody get everything the same? No. Entitled to self-esteem. Number 7. How are you guys doing? Are you all kind of getting tired of me? Good. If you are, just get up and leave. But please don't. Entitled to self-esteem. Now, this is something that has really come out in the last 30 to 40 years. That we have decided as a society that every child needs to feel good about themselves, that they are entitled to self-esteem. It came out until the late 60s. Our society was an achieving society. Everybody say achieving. So kids growing up until the 60s, they were achievers. And if you achieved something, then you got a prize. You got a trophy. If you achieved something, then you got the value of what you achieved. If you achieved, you had concrete evidence of how hard you can work and what your strength could bring about. You had something to base a self-worth upon. After the 60s, self-esteem was no longer based on achievement. It was based on the fact that you were born. So then what you got, so where this came from, Freud, Skinner, Carl Rogers, they came together in all of their, they were different people and they had different studies or whatever. But if you conglomerated it together, that's what we have in society today. And what it says is that if we ensure our kids feel no distress, have the perfect environment of praise and appreciation, a perfect contingent of feel-good rewards, our kids will then be perfect. But the problem is all that is based on words. It's not based on something concrete. So kids are walking around being told there's something fantastic, but inside they know that they have done nothing to do that. So now we give them the award for being on the team when they probably warmed the bench. And yeah, it's really cool that you came and all that, but what does it mean? It means kind of nothing. Because it's not based on anything. Right? Now, yes, we love our kids because our kids are our kids. But self-esteem and accomplishment is something that we have been erasing out of the equation, and it really, the house of cards falls. So now there's no red pen, there's no score at basketball games. How many of you guys go ahead and keep score? You go to a junior high. My boys would play basketball and nobody would keep score. In junior high, come on, people. Are they going to stop it in high school now? College? Pretty soon it's going to be the NFL. Sorry, people, we can't keep score. We're just going to go out here and play and we all get a Super Bowl ring. There has to be a point where a child, you personally, somebody has to go out and work hard and have to work harder than somebody else to achieve something. And that hurts. But what do we do about pain? Do we like pain? No criticism. They stop writing on pieces of paper how many they missed, but how many they got right. We're not going to talk about what you missed, but what you got right. Now, in the Puyallup School District, those of you parents who are in there in the upper levels, I don't know how it is at your school district, but now they won't even put a deadline on you. Homework is due on Friday, but if you don't make it on Friday, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so last year, I know. Sterling's like, it doesn't matter, the teachers don't care. I care. So last year was pretty funny. He kind of thinks he can run right? He wants to have control of everything. Last Thanksgiving break, he had 29 missing math assignments. Guess what he did over Thanksgiving? 29 missing assignments. Now, what the teachers have been doing now is they have on their own, because they're so sick and tired of it, they have began to, say, you can turn it in until we have the test, and then you can't turn it in past the test to count. So, of those 29 missing assignments, only 5 of them actually counted to his grade, but I did not care. You're doing every single one. But see, you don't want to limit the child. You don't want to put a line in the sand to say, oh, you failed. But this is all contributing to our emotionally entitled situation. Feelings are fickle. So there's 2 different ways to look at your child, and we're gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do. You can look at your child like a porcelain doll. And this is how society looks at our children as porcelain dolls. That we have to protect them. And we can't have them feel any kind of knock or any kind of thing inside of them that would have them say, maybe I'm not very good at something. Maybe I need to work harder at that. You can't have that. You don't want that. They could get chipped so easily. And if they get chipped, then there's no fixing them. And we have to treat them ever so careful because we don't want to hurt them. And so what we end up with is all these little porcelain dolls that we have to have. And don't get me wrong, I am a safety conscious person, Melissa. But you end up with dolls that you... Her and I have a long history on that. So, but you have to put, helmets on them, and you have to wear pads, and you don't jump farther than a half a foot, and don't do this and don't do that because you're going to get hurt. You're a porcelain doll. We don't want you harmed. Now, I understand that death happens. Limbs are severed, and we don't want that. And I understand, but what I'm saying, I'm trying to pull us out of the ditch over here of fear and safety and all of that kind of thing and put us back into a place where our kids can go out there and romp around and get stitches and break a bone maybe and have an adventure. Our kids are not porcelain dolls to protect so that by the time they hit adulthood, they don't have any chips on them. No, you know what? I would kind of like them to have a few scars here and there. There's stories to tell, right? I kind of want that. Our children are not porcelain dolls. Instead, I like to think of it like, and go after our children like Michelangelo went about his works of art. Remember, it's huge. If you've ever been to Italy or Europe and you've seen those huge, tall statues, amazing, amazing, powerful strength in these statues that you're just like, whoa, you're blown away by what you're seeing. What he would do is he would go out and he'd find a huge, huge rock made out of a certain rock. And he would actually go to the quarries and he would go around and look until he found one that he felt in his spirit had potential. And he would drag that thing home and then he would start chipping away. And he would start knocking off every piece of that stone that was holding back the potential of that stone. He would chip away and sand and chip away. It was hard work. In fact, he had to get kind of violent at times. But what he was feeling is he was taking that rock, that stone, and releasing the incredible, powerful potential that was inside of that rock and stone. He went about his work very differently. And that's what you are doing when you are raising your child. Your child is not a porcelain doll that cannot handle criticism, he has to or she has to know that some of the answers were wrong. Some of the things that they do are wrong. We have to get rid of that stuff. You have to take the hammer and chisel. You can't be afraid of hurting them. No, you are releasing their potential. You're not harming them. And that's the difference between emotional entitlement and emotional intelligence. Is a mom, a dad, who's not trying to protect their sweet little psyche, but instead is chipping away at everything that is wrong in their lives so you can release their potential. Amen? So how I do it, a lot of times, your children have to hear truth. You have to put your kid in something they're going to fail. Search for something that they can fail in. Oh, it's great. My thing was piano. Okay, and I've told this story, so if you've heard it, I'm sorry, but those of you who haven't, I put my kids in piano just because I'm a kind of a musical kind of person, and it works really good. But the cool thing, especially like with Jasmine, who is perfect in everything, got straight A's, beat every boy up on the block, there was nothing that was stopping her. Nothing. She was top in everything, right? And I looked at her, I thought, girl, you need something to take you down. You need something that you can't wrestle down. You need something that's bigger than you to be in. So I put her in piano, right? She learned everything. She just whizzed through the first couple of books, and then all of a sudden she hit her wall. The hard songs. They kept giving her harder and harder songs. And the day she got the song she couldn't get, she didn't know what to do with herself. She was mad. She got down off that piano and she was rolling on the floor and screaming and crying. I'm like, okay, girlfriend, who's bigger? You or that song? You or that piece of music? You or that piano? I don't know. I think it's the music. No, girlfriend, it's you. You're bigger than that. Nope, that's not right. She'll play it and she'll play it wrong. But it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not perfect yet. We're going to work. She got up there. She fought and fought and fought. She fought me. She fought everything. But she was working on something and coming to an achievement. And on that achievement, her 6th grade graduation I'll never forget, they asked her to play the piano. She got up there and she played Canyons and Waterfalls. It is a song that is amazing. She had everybody stupefied. She got down off of that piano. She might not have been the prettiest girl in that room. She might not have been the most, from the richest family in that room. She might not be the best or whatever. But when she got off of that piano and she came down and the people were clapping for her because she had accomplished something. She had worked hard. It wasn't just because she participated. That's when she got down and she had the biggest smile on her face. And I looked at her and I said, nothing's going to ever stop you. You're not going to get this out there in La La Land. You got to bring that into your family. You have to. Yes. They go to Microsoft and work at Microsoft, and it's performance-based evaluation. Wait a minute, isn't it good I just came to work? No, absolutely not. I love JV teams. My kids go out for basketball, right? And never failed they'd get JV, because my kids aren't like massively sportsy. That was so hard. They wanted to quit. I'm not going to play on JV. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You tried out. You're on JV. We're going to make JV the best. You're going to lead that team. Hated it. But they learned. I love JV. Amen?
Thanks for joining us today for this episode of the Joel Wolfe Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the message. Don't forget to subscribe to receive more great content regularly, and join Joel online at joelwolfe.me, as well as on Facebook at facebook.com/author Joel Wolfe. Also, don't miss Joel's latest book, guiding you through your adventures in parenting, Courage in Chaos, which Dr. Kevin Lehman says inspires both the heart and the head in equal measure. It's available for purchase at joelwolfe.me. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, have a great day.